Hey, what's good, y'all? Fuzion here, back with another reaction video. Today we're going to be reacting to Tyrese Haliburton's triple-double. We're really just going to be reacting to some of the plays in the game, as well as what I think about Tyrese Haliburton and what he does for his team, and I think for what could bring this team to be a dynasty at some point. I think that Tyrese Haliburton is a superstar. I think he understands what he has around him and knows how to maximize it. There are conversations about him being compared to Magic Johnson, him being a really great point guard. I agree with him being a really great point guard. I don't know about the Magic Johnson comparison. I think offensively, Tyrese Haliburton is a little bit better. One thing that I think he does well that a lot of people around his draft class, and even just a lot of their point guards that somewhat play his role, sort of like Trae Young, sort of like I think how next year Luka should be. Understanding pace, understanding when it is time to take over, and understanding when it is time to let go and be that pass first guy. Trae Young, I think Atlanta is missing a couple pieces to make that team what this Pacers team is. I do think if the Pacers or OKC wins, the quote unquote super team will die out. I think you still got a little bit of the super team sort of sprinkled within the Knicks and the Timberwolves. Not quite as much as other teams, but I still think you still have that formula of two or three really great stars and then some other players. Of course, I think that the Knicks are the Knicks and the Timberwolves aren't super teams. Don't get me wrong, but I think they sort of have that formula going with the superstars, the duos, and then you have the third guy who would be considered a star, superstar, whatever. But I think if both of these if and when, in my opinion, both of these teams lose and drop out of the playoffs, there will be no more teams where you're having three or four superstars on a team, and that is what's going to take you. You need a full, complete roster. This is what the Pacers are showing. This is what OKC is showing. What you're seeing with the Knicks is you're seeing overplayed players being overplayed, players being overworked, way too many minutes, way too much grind on their bodies. All of the players on the Knicks has some sort of grittiness to them, so they play hard on both sides of the ball. Cat is probably the weakest one, Cat and Brunson, but they still actively try. So since you do that, you're going to have to put that wear and tear on your body, and I think we're seeing that now. I think we're seeing all of those minutes finally stacking up. You're seeing shot selection. You're seeing just running out of gas towards the end of these games. And you're seeing quarters and extensive minutes, 5 or 7 minutes in quarters where the Knicks just can't get it going or they're just giving up. That's what you're seeing. You can say the same thing with the Timberwolves. I think you're seeing that as well. I think the Timberwolves are a solid team. They know what they can do. And I think Ant is doing what he can. I just don't think Randall is being consistent. I think Rudy Gobert had that really good offensive game, but then he's disappearing. Nas Reed isn't, doing as much as he should be doing, in my opinion. So I think we just need more from those guys. But that's just my talk on, I guess, the quote-unquote underdog teams. The teams that really don't have super team build, super team materials. Have a great star player, but an unselfish star player. You're seeing Shea be that unselfish star. You're seeing Haliburton be that unselfish star. I would not be surprised if these two stars are willing to take a pay cut for their team to stick together, because they have dynasty aspirations, and it looks like that they have a dynasty team. These teams played well last year. They just needed a little bit extra to get over that hump, and mostly it was just experience. That was the biggest difference between this year and last year for OKC, is experience. Once they got that experience, they learned how to dominate in the regular season and then bring it into the postseason and still be the same dominancy, if not more. You've seen Shea take his gameplay up even more. I did a video on him yesterday, so go ahead and check that out. And now we're going to do one on Tyrese, just seeing how he plays, how he picks apart the defense, and what he does to get his shot off and get his team open to get more shots. He's playing the prototypical point guard role. If I am trying to train or teach a high school player who, in my opinion, has the ability and the skill and the talent to go to college, this is who I would want them to watch and learn how to play like, so they can have that skill ready for when they go to the pros. Because if you can go from, in my opinion, from high school to college, if you can get into a solid college, mostly it is through talent, athleticism, and some skill. I think you hone your skill mostly to see if you are a professional in college. I think you learn a lot, of course, through elementary, middle school, and high school. But I think the technicality to see how good you are, like compared to the really great players in the world in college, you're going to have to see if you stand above them. You're going to have to see what type of skill set that you can find. I think you find your niche, and I think a lot of players miss their niche in college. If you understand that you have all these other great players in college around you, but you are hitting threes and they are not, I think if you lock in on that 3-point, become that expert corner role player guy, and lock in on that, there's a chance that you can get drafted over the guy who is not really figured out what their role is, or is trying to go against the grain. If you ever watch Gil's Arena, again, take it with a grain of salt. I don't take everything that they say to law, but they are professional players. Everybody on that panel, on that podcast, was a solid player for 2 to 3 years at the least. Everyone. They said they had to figure out a role. If you cannot figure out a role, then you're not going to last in the league. The earlier you figure that out, the better. Tyrese Haliburton figured out what works best for him. He is not shooting hella threes. He's not doing extra moves. He is doing 1 or 2 moves, a hezzy and pull, hezzy pass. He is passing, he is cutting, he is doing bare minimum work for great return. We'll see it here. Yeah, so overall good play. I personally like the Pacers. I like how they play. They do remind me of a 2000 style game. And it's just overall good basketball. I think this playoffs series and this whole playoffs run, I guess, is very divisive. It's either you're not really enjoying it because it's not really exciting. They are doing a lot of fouls. They're doing a lot of scheming. They're doing a lot of plays, gameplay, whatever. And you don't like that, or you enjoy that. You enjoy the technicality. You enjoy the strategy behind it. You enjoy the gameplay behind it. You enjoy the plays being drawn up. And you're seeing a divide. You're seeing, oh, well, I'm not watching it because it's not that enjoyable. Because they're not, I don't know, holding the ball and trying to get a 3 at the end. Instead, they're trying to get a foul for the free bucket for the win. So just some small stuff like that I think we are seeing. But let's go ahead and get started with the video. Let's break down some of his gameplay and see how he impacts the game, how he does get his triple-doubles.
The other way they go. Bridges trying to speed up that offense. It's a rebound by Haliburton. Numbers the other way. In the corner, free Neesmith.
50-win seasons for the first time in 20 years. One of the best coaches in this league for a long time.
Neesmith.
Well, there's the answer.
Indiana 4-6, 3.
So just real quick, just right off the bat, those first 2 plays, he attacked his defender for a quick drop-off pass for an easy 3. Not much to analyze there, but I did want to sort of point that out. Shai does that a lot too, and I think that's a important part of being a great team, is having those options around you. Again, they are not a super team. They have really good, solid pieces all around them that are being pushed and fed the ball by one star, and that is working. And then he just hits that open 3. Really bad closeout by who is that? Mitchell Robinson?
If you're the Pacers,
Yeah, Mitchell Robinson. That's him, yeah.
A little fake handoff, and Haliburton time just to tie his shoe and knock down the 3. How this series has gone.
Haliburton long 3.
Good shot.
This looks like Indiana's road offense right here in Gainers.
Robinson watching Haliburton. Puts on the brakes, finds a gap and hits it.
He's really taking advantage of like the pick and roll. I think that's a lot of what we're seeing in the modern NBA. We're seeing a lot of pick and roll. We're seeing a lot of bigs having to forcing bigs to have to move your feet, which I think is a great play. I think that's what you got to keep on doing if it's going to keep working. I think that at some point, Mitchell Robinson is going to have to close out harder, move his feet, or he's just going to keep getting cooked. And Tyrese Haliburton is recognizing that and attacking that. Not doing a lot of effort. He's not doing a lot. But he's getting easy buckets, getting open 3s, and he's playing well.
A series of moves to get the shot away, but he couldn't finish. Here comes Haliburton. He has the last 7 points for Indy. And the other way, Neesmith takes off. Played the entire fourth quarter.
Neesmith's been hooping too.
By Siakam on the deflection. 3-on-1, Haliburton to tap it. Fouled on the play.
Here's Indiana creating the defense. Toppin gets the deflection, and Toppin, no question, I think he's looking over his shoulder, so to speak.
What makes, I think, Tyrese Haliburton hard to deal with is once he gets going, he's not afraid to shoot the ball. That's why I did do that comparison with him and Trae Young. I don't think Tyrese Haliburton takes as many 3s as Trae, but if he does, and once he gets going, I think it's a one-on-one comparison. You're seeing him attacking off the break. He's always attacking middle. He's always finding his wings. That is basic basketball. Fill those lanes, feed the open man. But he's doing it consistently, constantly, and it's working. Small stuff like that, that is just basic basketball that I don't think a lot of people really talk about and see, that I think should be appreciated. And you're seeing that a lot here, for sure.
Whoa. Well, Haliburton has shot some deep threes here in this first.
Top in the rebound. In the corner, Siakam. That's a three.
Second time right side of steal and giving it right back.
Haliburton three.
And miscommunication by the Knicks.
He's a great player for Indiana, so you can't put too much into it.
Haliburton works his way in and scoops it hard.
So I'm probably not gonna stop it a little, some more after this. We're gonna let it play just a little bit. One thing that I am noticing though, we need to give some props to Miles Turner. He's setting really great picks, and rolling really hard. He's rolling to be a threat, not just rolling. And I think it's important for a big to do that, especially a skilled big like him, because one, he can shoot the mid-range. He doesn't need a play drawn for him to score. And I think he's just a really solid big at that. Like, you can't just leave him. And I think that's another piece, again, to building a solid team. There's a solid team around Tyrese. Again, he's a great player. And I think he'd be a great player on any other team. But he's a superstar here because of all the other teams, because of all the other players around him. Let's go ahead and push for a little bit more.
You know he's foul prone. You got to continue to go at him.
Picked up by Nimhard.
Got numbers.
Haliburton.
Good pass.
Haliburton wide open. Nimhard with a triple. Here comes Haliburton on the move and on the wing. Neesmith loads a three. Tip it out. Siakam. Haliburton got it. Back inside. Conley.
All right, guys. So you're seeing pretty much easy passes, easy plays. His team is converting. He's trusting his team. Overall, you're seeing what a point guard should be doing. You're seeing great decision making, great court vision, attacking the paint, dishing out, and hitting the shot. Sometimes it's that easy. It's great execution, minimum mistakes, forcing turnovers, and converting those turnovers. Really good basketball. Really good basketball by the Pacers. And by Tyrese Haliburton. But that's pretty much all I got for you guys. I suggest you guys finish this video on your own. They've been copywriting a lot of my stuff just by me completing the video. So I'll go ahead and stop it here. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next video. Peace.